Hello everybody, struggling to 1000 reported for duty. Welcome back to an episode of Pokemon Legends Arceus. In the last episode, we basically went on what seemed like a side quest palooza, it seems. Because we had side quests pop up left, right and centre upon unlocking access to a new explorable area, the Coronet highlands. However, we're not going to be going there this episode because this episode we're going to be making a detour route to Obsidian Fieldlands and Crimson Highlands. Starting off with the Obsidian Fieldlands, not because of a bee-barrel mass outbreak, but because of the fact that now that we have access to Bastion Legion, this area, we were not able to explore that. We are able to explore it now. And upon exploring that location, you will be able to encounter Pokemon that you were not able to encounter beforehand. So, in the Cobalt Coastlands, I showed you where to be able to find yourself a wild Piplup. I believe I was able to show you where to find a wild Turtwig a few episodes ago, but I do not recall if I have or not. But here, this little land is where you find yourself a wild Chimchar. You just navigate down over here and there you go. There's Chimchar right over there. And in the distance, an Alpha Infernape. Oh, we got a Combee here. Yeah, we'll just leave the Combee be. Right. That's why I wanted to go to Obsidian Fieldlands, to mainly show you where you can find a wild Chimchar if you planned on wanting to use an Infernape in your team. Obviously, Pokemon up to level 65 can now obey us with our current ranking, and the Alpha Infernape that is found there sits at the requirement. I think it can be found around level 60 or something. I'm not 100% sure on that. But now, we're going to go to the Crimson Highlands. We're going to specifically walk over to the Bog-bound camp. And seems a bit misty. Tad bit. Just ignore the Parasect. Now the location of where you find Turtwig is over here. Not specifically in these trees. Oh, hello? Ah, dang it. There was a wild female Combee and it just fled. So there's Turtwig over there. So you gotta be real sneaky with this, because they do run away. Okay, they heard me, but they hadn't seen me. It's a big Turtwig and a little one. Okay, we caught the big one at least. The other one ran away. Now, something I was actually thinking about wanting to say and I completely forgot about it until just now. I have an app on my phone which is called Lucky Emulator. Apparently, that app, Lucky Emulator, I kid you not, you can actually install certain games from the website, from a website. So like, it says game installation and yeah, you do have to like pay money weekly or yearly or monthly, whatever, to allow you to do certain stuff like fast forward, like the famous YouTubers oftentimes do. However, oh god. Sorry, I'm getting countless ads popping up. It happens a lot of the time when it comes to having a certain app play. So like, yeah, it's kind of annoying really when it's like, oh, this app does not have ads, but when you play the game, you find out that yes, it does. Okay, close the ad because, yeah, it was an ad saying you can do something for 30 minutes for free. I do not want anything for free, ideally, and I do not want to pay money at all for whatever it is I'm going to be doing, regardless anyway. But oh, for God's sake. You know what, I'm just going to show it. Here. Yeah. I can play Pokemon Fire Red on my phone. Which is actually good, because I was actually like looking at CEX, which is our local second-hand store for video games. So it's like, if a game that nobody wanted to keep anymore, they wanted to sell it, they go to this store CEX and they sell the games into the store, and then you can buy them used under a discount. But Fire Red and Leaf Green, they sell for approximately £80 to £100, which is too much money for a Game Boy Advance game. But getting it on my phone, I got it for free. I don't have to pay any money for it. I actually saw it on a random advertisement when I was on social media. I think it was either on Facebook or Instagram. And don't worry, it isn't a scam, because I did show that you can download games to play like Fire Red, and it actually did load up for Pokemon Fire Red. There you are, my girl. Welcome to the Coronet highlands. I expect you'll find all sorts of rock-type and ground-type Pokemon wandering around these cracky, boulder terrain heights. Oh, stern, sorry. And up there, right beneath the great rift in space-time, is the peak of Mount Coronet itself. Do you notice something at the sorry. Do you notice something at the very top of the mountain? The magnetism from it may well exert some sort of influence on the Pokemon throughout the area. Fascinating stuff. Yeah. That up there at the very top of the mountain, that's Spear Pillar. And yeah, it's on top of Mount Coronet. The Coronet Highlands is actually Mount Coronet. Definitely interesting that, isn't it? Anyway, here we actually get to see our first definition of a wild Luxray, even though in Obsidian Fieldlands, when running up this bit of the land, you can find wild Luxrays there too. Oh, there's a quest down here. this quest, there's a guy over there that actually wants a scyther to cut up some flowers for somebody who he loves because he wants to grow them. But then he takes things a little bit too far, thinking, wait, cut them down? If you cut them down, they won't be able to grow anymore. And it's like, okay, I now see. I'll just grab some seeds and then just grow them myself, kind of thing. That's what the whole task is. So over here, you basically find Yama with a rare chance of a Yam Mega, along with Paras, Parasect, and of course Luxios and Luxray. Hi Yam Mega. But if we drop down here, I'm going to put down Gumi into the lead real fast. And there's Ingo waiting for us. The electrode known as the Lord of the Hollow is somewhat different from the electrode I recall. But its electrical discharges at least are familiar. One false step around it could put you in danger. If you're going to face it, you might consider catching Pokemon that can withstand electricity. It must be difficult being a Pokemon, don't you think? Especially one as irritable as Electrode, then becoming frenzied to boot. So true. It's a tough old life for Pokemon and humans alike. Well, well, Warden Ingo of the Pearl Clan, and oh my, the Galaxy Team grunt from before. You're punching well above your weight to seek out the great Electrode Lord of the Hollow. But by the sheer tenderness of my heart, I'll grant you a trial to see if you're worthy. The greatest obstacle you'll ever face awaits you right here. Battle me, if you dare. Absolutely not. Well then, let me tell you the great Melee's take on this whole situation. The frenzy of our nobles is nothing other than a mark of Almighty Sinnoh's favour and protection. Why? Because it makes them stronger. Do you really need to spell out that this is a good thing? We must let up my lord frenzy as it may, to demonstrate to Almighty Sinnoh that the Diamond Clan lives and as is right and good. This may even be, dare I say it, the very reason I am here on this earth. My God. This person is a little bit of a peanut. Best way of putting it. What business is it of the Galaxy teams? Anyway, if Electrode lets loose a few sparks out here and there in the mountain. Really, you should do us all a favour and slink back home to that village of yours rather than persist in this folly. And with that, bon voyage. What a selfish outlook. These frenzies cause the Pokemon themselves such suffering. But what is it you want to do, Bella? I'm pressing on. Very well. The tracks ahead will be perilous, but I pride myself on safe driving. To meet Sneasler, Bella, you must pass through here, Wayward Cave. Here you'll find Pokemon like Golbat and their ilk, which are quite at home navigating in the dark. It's quite dim inside, so you'll need to watch your step. Well, let's head inside. And upon entering Wayward Cave, we will be encountering a brand new Pokemon to the game. As in, like, not a brand new, never before seen kind of thing, but technically, never before seen in my YouTube channel, except for when I did the Brilliant Diamond Hooplock Nuzlocke. Well, this is odd. The torches that light the way through the cave are gone. Could this be Melee attempting to obstruct us? Either way, there's no need for concern. I know my route, and I'll conduct us safely. No darkness nor foul weather will delay us. Onward we roll. Take care not to come up for me. I recall faintly that I had a partner once, a precious one. Its name escapes me, but I remember that it wielded flames with mastery. If only it were here, I'm sure it would light the way, luring us onward. What the Pokemon that he is actually on about is a Pokemon that is not actually seen in the Sinnoh region, but is actually seen in the Unova region. The Pokemon that Ingo is talking about is Volcarona. Volcarona is a Pokemon that can emanate flames to light up the way for anyone who's in trouble, kind of thing. Please forgive the unscheduled stop. I detect an Alpha Crobat to our right. Under normal circumstances, I doubt its presence would obstruct someone so competent as you. But given the poor visibility, I propose a track change in the interest of safety. Please follow me. I'm starting to recall a man who looked like me. We battled and discussed Pokemon, I think. The words, "I like winning more than anything else," flashed through my mind just now. We'll soon be arriving at Wayward Cave's exit. Even if the memories themselves have faded, it appears much still lives on in my heart. This is fine progress. We're nearly home free. Wait, could those be... Let me put those torches back where they belong. This darkness could be perilous for the next person to pass through here. I beg your pardon for the delay. I have lit and returned the torches. My safety concerns have been addressed. Ready for departure? If you follow the track marked by torches, you'll reach the terminus of this cave. We'll do that, but if we make a detour route, not down that way, but down this way. There is the Pokemon. Always in this one single spot, you will find yourself a wild Gibble. Oh, fish sticks. If you don't mind, I'm trying to look in my inventory. There we go. There we are. We called ourselves a Gibble. Now, if we go back the way we came down over here, just navigate down this way, then turn right here. Yes, we do have an obstruction in our way, but if we get rid of it, down over there is another unknown for you to pick up. I'm not going to be bothering picking up a single unknown because I honestly do not see the point. Now, we did see an Alpha Crobat down along here, but upon having the torches relit, he's now moved to a new location. That cave, which requires escalation to navigate, if you go down that way, that is where you find the Alpha Crobat. We're just going to ignore Golbat and just head straight up to the exit. Professor Laventon told me how you fell to this land from the sky. For my part, I simply found myself one day here in Hishui, a region whose name I'd never heard. All I could remember was my own name. I was still standing there in bafflement when the Burlcan came to my aid. I showed a natural affinity for taming Pokemon, which is why I eventually became a warden. But still, I wonder what my true purpose here is. But now I've sidetracked us with this talk. Let's hurry onward. You can find wild Heracross. This is the first place where you can encounter wild Heracross. If, in case you weren't focused on hunting them down in a space-time distortion in the Crimson Highlands. Upon navigating along this path, you will find some more hearty grains, ironically enough. But we need to find crunchy salt. There's something up there. Okay, Gumi didn't pick them up, but that's fine. I don't think they're the crunchy salt though. I think there's something else. We've got a guaranteed alpha moth in there. Do not understand why there's like an alpha of a Pokemon so weak over here. Well, it's seen me. There is our next story prompt. What's the big idea putting back all the torches I spent ages tidying up? Do you get some sort of amusement stomping around and ruining people's noble deeds? Oh? Rendering a cave impassable to people who venture inside hardly seems noble to me. Well, this just goes to show that even we wardens don't always see eye to eye. I extinguish those lights for the sake of the Pokemon in that cave who prefer the dark. But now you louse have put my efforts to waste. If you think I'll just let you saunter ahead to meet Lord Electrode, you're sorely mistaken. The only way you're getting past me is if you defeat my partner Pokemon. How will you proceed, Bella? I'll beat him. Go, Skuntank! Show these louts the true meaning of silent but deadly. I actually wonder if Melee is an ancestor for Jupiter, actually, now I think about it. I think he is. I never actually pieced it together. But could be a strong possibility. Opening up with a poison jab, which immediately knocked out Gumi. Yeah, because Gumi, I really need to evolve. Like, now. Right, we'll revive Gumi. And then let's go for an ice punch. Nice! We actually got a status condition which is actually brand new to the game. Frostbite. Usually when a Pokemon is frozen, they are unable to move until a 20% chance of de-thawing out. But in this game, Frostbite is a status condition that acts similarly to poison, where you take damage at the end of every turn. But I believe it can also cripple the Pokemon's special attack stat or something. I'm not 100% sure on that one. Sorry, Lopunny. That's the first time you've ever been knocked out. Do I try this? Like, do I go back to Gumi? Okay, yeah, good. I was concerned in the thinking that he was going to get to do another attack. We'll go for a Dragon Pulse and that should end it. There we go. Umbreon leveled up, but unfortunately Gumi still needs more experience points. Listen here. Neither I nor Skuntank admit defeat just yet. Our challenge to you still stands. However, I will withdraw to afford Skuntank time to recover. There's no shame in a tactical retreat. It's more of an advance, if you think about it. Keep your guard up. We'll be back. What a lively character. I cannot fathom Warden Melee's intentions, but for now, let us press on. Navigating through this bit, I believe it's supposed to be a certain area, but I can't fathom out exactly what this area is meant to be exactly. It kind of gives a little bit of a chilly vibe, but somewhere up on that wall is actually another unknown that can be found. You need Sneasler in order to reach up to it. This is the ancient quarry. The stones used to build the temple atop this mountain were all cut from this place. Whether by humans and Pokemon working as one, or by the labor of Pokemon alone, I cannot say. The stones that were left behind should serve to cover us from the gazes of wild Pokemon. Ah, there you are, Ringo. Folo, was it? What is the matter, sir? I wanted to ask about that memory loss of yours. Have you considered that it could have somehow been caused by the space-time rift? I have no cause to think the rift is to blame, but then again, I hardly remember a thing, so it's difficult to say with certainty. I can't remember my own home, nor my family, if I had any. So you might do better to pose your questions to Bella. I think it's to do with that rift. Indeed. Well, I do hope your memories return, Warden Ingo. How about you then, Bella? Do you remember what you saw before you fell out of that rift? Was there anything inside? We did technically see something, but we're going to say that we saw nothing. Interesting. You see, personally, I suspect that whatever is on the other side of that rift is causing the strange lightning that plagues us. You think so? Indeed. I did some digging and found records indicated that this same space-time rift also appeared in history in the distant past. That's why we already had our name for it as it appeared in fact. Now, what kind of world do you suppose stretches out in the other side of the rift? My guess is that it is Almighty Sinnoh's realm. But then, that begs the question, why has the space-time rift reopened when it closed once so long ago? And why would Bella have fallen through to us? There's just so much we don't know. I fervently hope that you reveal this mystery, Folo. I'm sure it would ease people's fears over the frenzies of our nobles. And while you investigate, sir, I'll continue to prioritize the safety of the people living in this world. Oh, I am a mere admirer of ruins and little more. If something needs investigating, then I would entrust that task to Bella. Until next time, then. Yeah, the more times that Folo asks questions about these events, the more you get a little bit suspicious of him. Anyway, we can actually find Bronzors in this area, but we're going to be hiding over here because it's an end to this episode. Next time, we're going to trek further onwards through the Coronet highlands. See you guys then.